In my last life, my sister Raven Webster and I rescued 2 eggs. Her egg hatched into Snow Viper, while mine became Blazewing, but Raven stole Blazewing from me. None of us could have imagined the world would end in a brutal heatwave apocalypse. Raven died from heat stroke in that inferno, and before she died, she tricked my husband, Snow Viper, into strangling me with his own tail. Somehow, we were both reborn on the very day those eggs hatched. This time, Raven snatched up Snow Viper. She thought having him would keep her safe through the heatwave apocalypse. What she didn't know was that Snow Viper's powers could only be fueled by drinking fresh human blood every single day. When I opened my eyes, I realized the suffocating heatwave wasn't there, but I still remembered vividly the way I had died in my last life, drained of blood and strangled until I couldn't breathe. I turned and looked at Snow Viper beside me, and a shiver ran down my spine. According to beast folk tradition, a beast folk had to marry the person who saved their life. I was supposed to be with Blazewing, but because my sister Raven Webster thought Snow Viper was too terrifying to look at, she stole Blazewing for herself. A month later, the whole world turned hotter and the heatwave apocalypse began. Snow Viper's power, just like his name, could lower the temperature within 10 feet of him, creating a living shield against the burning world. Blazewing, on the other hand, carried the opposite, heat and fire. Raven took Blazewing, but she died of heat stroke in the heatwave apocalypse, while I survived thanks to Snow Viper's cooling power. In her final moments, Raven was convinced I had stolen her husband. She whispered poison into Snow Viper's ear, and he killed me. Back in the present, I had just opened my mouth to say Blazewing belonged to me when Raven cut me off. Snow Viper's mine. I hatched him. You can have Blazewing. I froze, watching Raven rush to grab Snow Viper's arm as if she couldn't wait another second. That was when it hit me. Raven had been reborn too. A smile tugged at my lips. I'd been wondering how to get Blazewing back from her, but it turned out I didn't even have to try. Still, Raven only knew that Snow Viper could cool the air. What she didn't know was that his gift depended on feeding every day from human blood, and his fangs weren't ordinary. They carried venom that spread through your veins, turning every feeding into torture. By the time Raven turned Snow Viper against me in my last life, I was already half dead. From being drained. In a way, I should thank her. At least she gave me a quicker end this time, though. Raven could experience firsthand how it felt to be sucked dry and infused with poison every day. Last time, when Snow Viper ended up with me, he wasn't happy about it. He only stayed because of the beast folks' laws, grudgingly calling himself my husband, but hearing Raven claiming him this time, Snow Viper slipped out of my reach and ran to Raven's side. Before I could even respond, his tongue flicked out in a slow, cold hiss. His eyes met mine, his voice dripping with contempt. Raven says she wants me, that makes me hers. Don't bother me again. I narrowed my eyes. So, it wasn't just me and Raven who had come back from the dead. Raven grinned at me, smug as ever. See, Megan, Snow Viper chose me. Take your stupid phoenix and go home. I shrugged lightly. Fine, if you want him so badly, you can have him. She brushed past me with her chin high, casting me a sideways glance. Leaning close, she whispered in my ear, you don't know, do you? The heatwave apocalypse is about to start. If you grovel and beg me, maybe I'll let you borrow Snow Viper for a few days. I hid my laugh. Seemed like she really had no clue why Snow Viper wanted her. I glanced at Blazewing, who was curled up tightly beside me. Poor Blazewing. From the moment he hatched, he'd been trembling nonstop. He only calmed down a little when Raven said she wanted Snow Viper instead. I didn't bother wasting words on Snow Viper or Raven. I just took Blazewing and headed out the door. Megan, are you sure you want me? I reached out, wanting to pat his head, but Blazewing flinched back instinctively. His wide, frightened eyes were locked on me. I didn't mean to upset you. Please don't hit me. Even as he said it, his body trembled uncontrollably. He forced himself to lean his head toward me, as if he was bracing for punishment.